So good evening, everyone. My name is James. I'm a reference librarian at the New Canaan Library, and I want to welcome you all to the program. I'd like to introduce you all to Carlos Galeana, who is going to be our instructor for tonight's presentation. He is an experienced technology trainer, and his work in public libraries has been recognized in Library Journal magazine, which is kind of a big deal. We are very lucky to have him here tonight, and I urge you to take a look at the other classes he's agreed to teach for us this month on the 22nd and the 28th on Microsoft PowerPoint and Microsoft Excel, respectively. If you're looking to become more familiar with those programs, this is a great way to do so. And I'm going to hand it over. And with that, now I'll hand it over to Carlos so that he can get started. Carlos, thank you so much for being here tonight and for agreeing to teach this program for us.
Thank you, James, and thanks for having me. This was really great. By my background, you could tell that I'm on the West Coast. I live in the Seattle, Washington area, so just through the magic of technology, it's a real joy to be here with you all. So thank you so much. And tonight's presentation is going to focus on Canva. Canva is a really cool tool that I've been using for a long time. I'm just always excited to talk about it with different folks. So thank you for being here. Like James said, I'm going to be pausing a few times to take a look at the Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to jump on in and go ahead and type your question. I'll do my best to answer those questions. And I have a whole bunch of resources to share with you. So like James mentioned, the recording is going to be made available, it looks like about 2 weeks after this presentation. So keep an eye out on the library's YouTube page. I've also prepared a slideshow, and inside the slideshow, you'll get kind of like a summary of what we were talking about today, but also you're going to get a list of resources, and the resources are a mix of image libraries, articles, tools that I've used to help me be better at Canva, articles, things like that. So keep an eye out for that document. It's going to be a few slides. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So here is Canva. Canva, spelled like the word canvas, but without the S at the end. It's been around for quite some time now, since around like 2015. And one of the exciting things about Canva is that it's all on the internet. So you don't have to worry about installing anything on your computer. And regardless of the operating system you have at home, whether it's a Mac or Windows or Linux or Chromebook, you basically get the same function because it's all on the web. Creating an account is free. You can use your Facebook, your Gmail, your Apple ID, or even just create your own account. All you need is an email and a password. Once you create an account, it looks something like this. This is kind of like the landing page. And in Canva, you could create a whole bunch of different things. So you can create like a presentation. You can, as of really recently, you can actually edit short video clips on here. You can create an Instagram post, a flyer, a resume. You can create like menus for a restaurant. You can create a poster, a certificate, brochure, letter, newsletters, Facebook post, reports, desktop wallpapers, YouTube thumbnails. So if you're posting something on YouTube, and a whole variety of different projects that you can create. And it's all for free. There is something called Canva Pro. And Canva Pro is anytime you see this crown-like symbol, that is an indication that you would have to pay for it. And if you're interested in learning more about the pricing points, here on the landing page, there's a pricing component here. There's the Pro license, Enterprise for like a larger business. If you run an educational organization or nonprofit. If you run a nonprofit, you could actually apply to get a Canva Pro license for free. I'm currently on the free license, and for this demonstration, I'll be using the free license. Further down here, you'll see different tips, articles, and then you'll see your recent designs here. I currently don't have any. Your trash bin. This is where you'll see previous projects that you've had and maybe you've discarded them. Templates, features, it's kind of like new things, new things to explore. Learn is a really valuable place of Canva because this is where you can actually like take some, read some articles, maybe take a self-paced course. Here's some different blogs on marketing and branding. So it's a pretty cool site. One of my other favorite things about Canva is that you can also download the Canva app on your iPhone or your Android device, and you could do somewhat similar projects on that app, and you could really do quick edits on that app. So if you have Instagram on your phone and you wanted to work on something, you can open up the Canva app, do a project really quickly, and then save it to your phone, and then you can put it on Instagram. You may want to get like a stylus pen, and a stylus pen is basically a writing pen with a little rubber tip, and that little rubber tip helps you kind of be a little bit more precise when you're pressing on the screen. I would say that's a drawback if you're working on an iPhone. Your screen is really small, it's kind of hard to move things around. But my most favorite thing about Canva is the design parameters that they give you. If you go to this big purple button, it says create a design, and here are the different project sizes, and it really takes away the guessing game of sometimes that we have to like try to do to figure out what the right dimensions are for a project we want to do. So if you want to do an Instagram post, you'll see that is 1080 by 1080 pixels. If I wanted to do, let's say, a document, that's 8.5 by 11 inches. And if I work my way down, here's different measurements. If I wanted to do a YouTube thumbnail, so that's that big image that you see before you click on that video. It's 120/80 by 720 pixels. It's like a big giant rectangle. And here are a few other ones as well. Menu for a restaurant, card, invoice. Let's go ahead and create a Instagram post. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with my first project. I'm going to do a series of different projects. First one being an Instagram post, and then I'll change it up to maybe do like a presentation, and then I'll do like a infographic. So I started my project. You see that I have this big white square. There's a big gray space. This is basically what's going to be featured in the download or in your print. And then I could add additional pages to it. So if I was to print it, you could add like a backside or a second page. Here is where you can zoom in and zoom out, this little toggle here. And then on this menu here on the side, this is how you can navigate elements. It gives you the chance to work with lines, circles, graphics like hearts and stars and stickers, things that kind of like move around a little bit. You can also add picture frames in here. Uploads, this gives you the chance to put pictures in here from your computer. You can also log into your Instagram account or your Google Drive, Dropbox, Facebook, Google Photos, and add photos from there. Text gives you the chance to do it. Heading, which is like a big block of like title-like text. Subheading is like a subtitle. And then add a body of text that is like having like a paragraph. And they give you all these samples here, so you could see that there's some suggestions. Again, anything with a crown you do have to pay for. Anything without the crown you don't have to pay for. And you can see that there's different effects. Some of them look slanted, some of them look cursive, some of them have like it has like a 3D like effect. Some of them are overlapping one another. Background is the image or color in the background of your project. And you can see that they have a few different backgrounds like stars and ocean and heart and wood. QR code, this is where you can put like a website, and it's like a really great way for people to scan and access your website. And more, there's a few more features on here, audio components, videos, and then you could link into other accounts or image libraries. It's a whole bunch to choose from. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started with my Instagram project here. And I recommend that anytime you're trying to learn something new, try to, whether it's a new tool or like a project that you're gonna be working on, try to see if you could bring some fun elements into it. And in particular, try to do it for a project that you're really passionate about. So whenever I am learning something, I'm gonna talk about something that I care about deeply, maybe that's not really work related, as it gives me a chance to practice. And in this case, I'm going to be talking about tiger conservation. So adopting and saving tigers. So this is kind of like my practice project. I just want to bring awareness to this issue. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to use a template. Templates here, this is like a pre-made preset, and you could see that over time, the templates change. So we just had Memorial Day, so you'll see like a Memorial Day template. You'll see Mother's Day, different kinds of suggestions here. Around November, you'll see like a Thanksgiving template, and so on and so on. So I'll do this one. Happy Father's Day. And I'm going to change it dramatically. Anytime you see the watermarks there, it means you have to pay for that image. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on it, and then I'm going to delete it or backspace. When I delete it or backspace it, you'll see that I get this like kind of countryside background. That's the picture frame that I was holding that photo. And instead of saying Happy Father's Day, and then instead of having that little paragraph there, I'm just going to say, going to get rid of these little stars or leaves, going to get rid of this image, this little graphic there. I'm just clicking on it and backspacing it. When I click on a certain box, it has this purplish outline. And when I get my mouse cursor to this edge here, my mouse cursor becomes this like kind of cross-like symbol. This cross-like symbol is like this little grabber tool that helps you move it around. As I move it around, I could reposition it and then release. And there's these little beaded lines that are just kind of guiding me, just making sure that it's aligning with my other objects in here. And I'll just leave it right there. The text choice that is set here is called the seasons. This is the font choice here. And you could change it by clicking on it and then choosing a different option. And there's a whole bunch of options to choose from. It could get a little overwhelming. So I would suggest, exploring a bit, and then when you find your favorite ones, just you can have them be your go-to types of font choices. Let's try this one. This one's called Alata. There it is, it changed. And again, there's so many of them. I would guess that there's probably closer to 80, maybe even more than that options in here. And anything that's a crown, you would have to pay for. And I could do change all, perfect. This one here, I could add some effects to it. So effects gives it a chance to give it like I don't know, like some shadow or like some glow to it. We'll do this little shadow. And then I could just kind of experiment a little bit with that. It's kind of what you do in Canva a bit, or you're kind of doing a little bit of fiddling a little bit. Do lift. I like lift a little bit more. And then you could do curve. So you can have the text kind of curve like a rainbow, or you can have it be like a straight format there. 3 dots, you can lock it in place. So if you make other changes, this text won't move around. You can underline it. You could change the casing. So right now it's in uppercase, so you could change it to lowercase. This is to copy the style. So if you wanted to keep replicating that type of kind of glow text to other sections, you could do that. Here's where you could do like a list format. Here's where you could do line spacing, and here's where you could do alignment. So right now it's left alignment. You could do center or right alignment. I'll do left alignment. Okay, so far so good. So now I need some pictures. So there's a whole bunch of pictures you can put on here. Canva has some that are already available to you. You could just search for it. But for me, I'm going to add some pictures from a website called Pexels, and the website's called spelled P-E-X-E-L-S, And I'm gonna go ahead and search for a tiger photo. This website is an image library where you can get free photos for your projects and a really high quality. If I did a different search, like for example, if I type soccer, high quality soccer themed images. Going back to tiger, there's a couple of choices here. I'm gonna choose this one here, and then it's a free download. And then it's just saving it to my computer. And then you can actually learn more about it. It's free to use under the Creative Commons license, more info. You can learn more about the dimensions of the photo itself. And they have a whole bunch of photos that you can use for free on here. Let me choose a different one. Free to use. And then if you click on it, it tells you more about the licensing there. Attribution is not required. It's not necessary, but always appreciate it. You can modify the photos. And I have an article, actually I have a video on that slideshow where it breaks down more of these licensing thing with Creative Commons. Of course, if you have your own photo, that's always best. So if you have your own photos of your projects, I always suggest just doing that whenever possible. But if you're looking for stock photos for free, this is a great place to look. Okay, so I have two photos. I'm gonna go back to my Save a Tiger project, and now I'm gonna go to Uploads, the one with this big cloud. And then I'm going to look in my computer to upload it. There we go, I'm gonna choose that one. And it's uploading, and I could just drag and drop. I'm almost done. I wanna make some more changes on here. So I go to background, and it's offering me these suggestions, kind of like this greenish, brownish tone. I can add more colors to it. I want to do this orange. There we go. And there's this stripe here. I'll just change the color of the stripe. And I'm almost done. I'm clicking the little ring outside the tiger's photo. It has this green color to it. And I want to include that website. I want people to go to the website for awareness to how to save a tiger. So the website is here. It's pretty lengthy in terms of this URL. It's pretty long. So what I could do is I could just copy it, Control C or Command C on your computer. And going back to my tiger project, I'm gonna do QR code. And then I click here in this box. And then Control V or Command V, depending on your system. There's my QR code. So when people scan this, they'll be able to go to that website directly. There we go. And it's called Save a Tiger. As I make changes on here, it's auto saves. There's like a little cloud icon here, and it's saving to Canva's cloud. So it's kind of like a little storage bin. And for you to get back into this project, all you have to do is just log back into canva.com and you can work on it again. If I make any mistakes or want to go back a step, I could just go press the back arrow and do an undo. I'm all done, so I'm going to go ahead and do share. And then I could just post this directly to Instagram, or I could just download it. I'm just going to go ahead and download it. And then I could choose different download options. If I wanted to print it, there's a PDF for print. And then I could just do PNG. PNG is a type of like photograph or illustration file type. I'll just do a download. And it's downloading and saving it to my computer. And I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And there it is. So this is my finished product. We started off with a kind of holiday themed template, and then we made some significant changes. We deleted the photo, we changed the background, we changed the text, we added a different color, we put a new picture, and then we added a QR code there. All right, I see a question on the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and pause and I'll give James a chance to read it out loud.
Yeah, so the question is, how do you change the shape of the photo?
Yeah, excellent question. So let me go ahead and go back to our initial project here. So right now, I think one of the challenges is when you use a template, you're kind of going off of what was preset for you. And in a lot of ways, that's kind of limiting. I think templates are really good starting points. So our original kind of template was the circle. So if I delete the tiger, it's being held in this basically like a picture frame, and it looks like a country landscape. So if I delete that, that's pretty much gone. And back here, it's just a big black circle. But to change the shape of the picture itself is that you need to choose a frame that has a certain shape. So if I go to elements, here's some different things to try, and just go ahead and click on this box, and then you could try frames. And these are like the picture frames. And there's a whole bunch of choices. So I think we had this one at first. And then you could try a square with a rounded corner. You could try a square with a torn middle. You can try different panels. If you're trying to like present a website project, you can have like a computer and then a screenshot of that website, or a laptop or phone, torn, picture frame, paintbrush, triangle, circle, donut, postage stamp, diamond, slashes, letters. There's a whole bunch of picture frames here, probably close to like 60. I'm going to go ahead and choose, I'll choose this one here. This one kind of looks like a puddle. And then you could see that the puddle now is here, and I could just make it bigger by going to these corners, clicking and holding. And then if I go back to uploads, I get my tiger picture again, I can just drag and drop them there. And the tiger now takes the shape of the puddle. So it's just a matter of knowing what frame you want to choose, and that's under elements. Click here and then look for frames. Then you're going to get a whole list of frames here. You can see that there are a whole bunch of different really unique choices. There's even like windowsills and all kinds of icons. Yeah, so once again, I always recommend if when you're trying to learn something new, just do it for like a passion project so you can have a little bit of fun with it. So I'm going to go back and press the home button. This time I'm going to do a different project. And if I want to work on the tiger one again, I could just come back here and I could go to 3 dots and I could move it to the trash or download it or just reopen it from there. I'm going to do create a design. And this time I'm going to go over to infographic. And if I don't see it here, I could also search for it too. So I use a search to kind of think of some suggestions. So I'm going to do infographic, and there's all kinds of infographics you could do. There's this primary one, there's one that's focused on data. I'm going to choose this top one. Infographic was really popular like about 10 years ago. That's when it really started gaining steam, and it's a mix of data and facts and information. So it's kind of like it's meant to really, it's like a report that can be condensed into one primary graphic or document. And a successful infographic is something that could be read on a phone or tablet. So if it cannot be easily read on a mobile device, then it's not a successful infographic. It's like too much, there's too much information, or the information is not very clear. Here are some templates, some suggestions, and you can see that there's a lot going on here. So I'm going to zoom in. This one looks like it's focused on skincare, and there's a person there. I can just click on it and then delete it. Templates, I use them as like guides for me, but I usually just work on projects on my own, and I'm just clicking on them and deleting them. So here it is. It says keeping skin healthy during traveling. I'm going to rename it. It's called Rare Beast, and then you can put your website there. Just delete that. And whenever you're doing a project like this, you really want to make sure you have all your assets together. So assets are like your pictures, your documents, anything you're going to use for your project. And in this case, here are like my details. So here's some facts. It's about tigers in China. 14 South China tigers await introduction to the wild. Those are my facts. 22 estimated number of tigers in China. So all I have to do is I could just copy and paste. So I'll do that now. And I'm just going to a new tab, and I could actually put my fact up here, and then I could just delete this section here. I can move this over. And again, I'm using these like little purple lines to guide me. It says 0, 1. So instead of 0, 1, I'm gonna change that to 14. There we go. That's like my first fact. And then I could repeat that for my next one. And it's really good to have these pre-written on a different document. And I'm just using the simple keyboard shortcuts. A long time ago, Canva wasn't adaptive to those keyboard shortcuts, but now it is. So, Control C, Command C. If you don't have all the text written out and you want to do like a mock project to see how it would look, there's this cool website called, it's a lorem ipsum generator. So it gives you like filler text, and then you could just copy text and then you could put it on. So it gives you an idea how your project would look. So let's say I was all done with my tiger project, rare beast. I could again change the font. I like this one called League Spartan. And I'm going to add a picture in here. So if I go back to uploads, upload, I could choose the other tiger project that I had. And then I'm going to go to elements, and I'm going to frames again. There it is. And going to uploads again, and they're just going to drag this picture in here. Background, I could change it. It's kind of like some night effect. I could do like yellow, solid color. And then here, aside from the picture frames, you can get other things. So lines and shapes. So if I do see all, you could do like these separators. These are like lines, arrows with dots in the ends, or little boxes, shapes, arrows, trapezoids, parallelograms, hearts, thunderbolt. Let's do this kind of shield-like icon. Let's put it here. And then I could just put it right in the middle. Let's do another one. And I could change the color. I can make the interior just by choosing the other color. So yeah, it's not looking that pretty or attractive. I'm just kind of showing you different things you could do on here. And right now you can see that this circle is right behind Rare Beast, but right above that shield-like shape. So if you do a right click, you could send it to the back part. Or you could do a right click and then bring it to the front. Or right click, send it back. Right click, bring forward. So you could kind of experiment, and now you can see that the circle is right above the shield, but right below the Rare Beast title. And I can just move this around. You can also use this position button. The position gives you a chance to move it up and down. And then you could also align it at the page. So you could do bottom, and now it's down here. It's like you're just kind of like moving it in different positions. Or you could do center. Now it's in the center part. And it just kind of moves it on its own. If you did like this like little circle thing that I have going on, like these little rings, you can make duplicates as well. And you could just do that by copying and pasting. You could just do a right click, copy and paste, or you could just do, Control C or Command C. And here's another one. I'm making just duplicates now. And this is how you can make like little patterns.
And Carlos, we've actually got a question here.
Go
So when you're finished making these designs, how do you save and print them? How do you save and print them from Canva? Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, so let's say I was all done with these. Let's say I was done with this project in particular. I could just, order the print job here, like which was available, or you could just do share, and then you could just download, and then it's offering me a suggestion PDF to print. So I could do that. And then I would suggest taking them over to a professional printer if at all possible, because when you work with a professional printer like Kinko's or FedEx or an office place. It gives you the nice quality of paper and the ink, but if you want to, you could also print it at home or at the library. And all you have to do is just do PDF to print, and then it downloads it to your computer, and then you could just print it. My other suggestion would be just save it as a PNG, which is like a photograph, and then put that photograph, that image in a Word document, and then you could just print that Word document. And then that way it's in a traditional 8.5 by 11 document. So I'll do PDF to print, and then do download, and it's saving it to my computer. There it is. So now this is like ready to be printed. I could just do Control P or Command P and just print it there.
And I'm loving the crispness and quality of that photo that we got from Pexel. We actually have a question about that from a Mac user who tried to download an image from there and wasn't able to locate it in recents or downloads. Is there a place where those might go otherwise, just the images from Pexel, since I'm not familiar with that service?
Yeah, it should always go to your downloads, or it should definitely be in your downloads. If you want to, just go ahead and try again. I've had issues where I have a hard time finding the photo. It might also be in your browser. So if you go to the little browser section, sometimes there's this little arrow, and it shows you everything you have downloaded. In this case, I'm using Firefox. You could use another browser, and it gives you like a little indicator where it is. But I would suggest just going back to Pexels and doing it again, downloading it, just making sure that you can always do that again. And where does this save to in terms of projects is that there is two places where it's saving. It's saving it to canva.com, so you can always log back in and then you can access it that way. And then it's also saving it on your computer as well. If you are doing this on your phone, it would save it to your image gallery. Go ahead and read the other question if you like, James.
Yes, definitely. So are there any rulers in Canva to show you the size of the work you're creating before you print it? Like what it would look like on the page, I believe is the question.
Yeah, there isn't a really great way of doing that aside from the resize button. And then there's like, it kind of tells you the dimensions here. I would say this is like my biggest concern, I guess, with Canva is that if let's say I currently have a project and you can see that it's very rectangular in shape. But if I wanted to change it from a rectangular shape to a square-like project, I would have to pay for that to make that adjustment. So that's one of the features that is not available for free. In terms of different sizes, here they are, but it's not part of the free version because it has a little crown feature. And then once you have the paid version, it actually gives you access to a ruler as well. So that is not really available to you. That's why it's really important that before you start your project, you kind of get an idea of what these sizes are. For a regular document, 8.5 by 11 is what you kind of want to go for. And that you can rest assured that that is always going to be good size. And you can always do like a smaller project, and then you can make it bigger once you want to put it on a document, on a piece of paper. All right, let me go ahead and do like a PowerPoint-like project now. So that's under presentation. That's also kind of like a rectangle. And here is my presentation. I'm just going to call it, again, Save a Tiger. And then these are the templates for the presentation. There's all kinds of templates you could choose from. I'm going to choose this one called Company Profile. And then these are the types of sample projects that they have. And I'm going to just make a few changes on here. So again, instead of saying Company Profile, I'm going to do Save a Tiger. And then instead of this apartment complex, I'm going to put up the picture of the tiger. So I'm just going to do a backspace or delete. And I'm going to my uploads. I'm going to choose my tiger photo. And notice that because I don't have a picture frame on here, it's just falling into place like basically like a square. And I can make it bigger if I want to. And then right click, send it back. And this big blue, I don't like the blue, so I could just click on it. And then I could choose the colors from the picture. There, it's like showing me some picture suggestions. I could do orange. And then I'm going to do a new page. And this one, I'm going to do a chart. So if I do elements and then type chart, here's different ways you could present your data. Like you could do a donut or a pie chart or bar graph. There it is. And here are the parameters. I'm going to right click, delete the column, right click, delete the column, right click, delete the column. There we go. Now the graph has changed. And I'm going to put some figures here. Right click, delete row, right click, delete row. These are like tigers in India. I'm just kind of adding some figures here. You can see as I'm typing, the scale is changing. There we go. So this is my chart. I can go to settings, change a few things. I'm going to do show legend. It's called series. So I'm just going to change series 1 to tigers in India. You can also import a spreadsheet from your Google Sheets account. Although I haven't had great success doing that, I found that it's like it changes the way my data is presented. So I kind of like to manually enter it myself. Here on the charts, you could do rounded corners, or you could do sharp corners. You could change the color, change the font. There we go. And then you could just present this as part of your, if you just wanted the chart, you could just download it, save it to your computer, and then put this on a Word document or Google Doc or what have you. So I'll pause there. What questions do you have?
So we have one question about if you're using a pro license, can you use any of the images for a website that you're building? I think that might be a question for Canva's terms of services, which I can link.
Yeah, definitely. You want to look at the terms of services in terms of what pictures you can use. If you can use your own photos, and then you can use some of the photos like on Pixels if you like, but and you can certainly use some of the Canva's photos as well, but take a look at the terms of service on there. All right, so we're almost out of time. I know there's just so much to talk about. One of the cool things about Canva presentation that I actually like a lot is that if you were to present this to, let's say, a group project or on Zoom or Google Meet or Microsoft Teams, you could just present it. And then your mouse cursor has this like little bluish glow to it that's already part of the presentation there. See? So you don't have to, it's all part of it there. You don't have to do any more changes on there. So you can see that it looks really nice. All right, I'm gonna see if I can press escape. And that is part of the chart. Just a really quick example, really quickly, just working with color before we close on up is, I'll just do like a quick like birthday celebration. So create Instagram post. This time I'm not gonna use a template. I'm just gonna do it from scratch. So I'm gonna do text, and I'm gonna add a heading. I'm just gonna type happy birthday. And then I could just kind of like rotate it a little bit. And then I could just move it. Go. And then I'm gonna do another heading. And this time is for my friend Jennifer. And I could also rotate it as well. And then I could kind of put it like slightly underneath the happy birthday text there. And go to background. I can go press this yellow background there or bluish background. And I'm gonna go to elements and I'm gonna type like wolf. And then when I type wolf, I get a picture, I get some like graphics, I get some like animated stuff, photographs. The wolf has this kind of like bluish, purplish tint to it. So if you had the hex code, and the hex code is basically like a series of numbers and letters that are really precise in telling you what the code is for that particular color, you can put it on Canva. So for example, if I did like Yukon, and here's like a suggestion, it looks like a 00E2F, and I'm just copying it, and I'm going back to my project, clicking on the little animal there, and then I'm going to change that little purple color. And I'm going to add a new color, and I'm just going to paste now. There we go. So now I have like that bluish tint, that bluish tone of that particular color that I wanted. And if I want the red, I go back to red here, and then I do, that's the blue, that's the white, that's the gray, and this is the particular red one. You can see it's a mixture of letters and numbers. And if your particular company has a Canva account, you can add your own color schemes for your own company. And then under uploads, you can add your own logos there for your company. And then if this is all done, I could just do a share, and then I could just do a download and then save it to my computer, and then put it on an email or on Instagram. All right, looks like there's a few more questions. I'll pause for those questions.
Doesn't look like there are any currently open questions actually at the moment. But this screen you're on here where it said like upload images, right? So any image that you upload to Canva will be saved in that upload images folder. So you could use it later if you were trying to make a change to a different like project, right?
Totally, yeah. You could put a whole bunch of photos in there. That's kind of like your little image library, and you can just store them up, and you could keep reusing them or change them up as you like.
And then we had someone else ask earlier, I believe, I just want to make sure I got this completely answered, is where they save to. Now in Canva itself, where do they save to? Where can you view the projects that you're currently working on?
Yeah, you could save them on, you will see them on Canva. And that's like really the only place you can continue to work on them and see them. And if you're like not sure, just go home. And then all you have to do is just scroll down a little bit lower, and here they are. You can see my previous projects right here. And they auto save, so you never have to do a file save or anything like that. Practically out of time, I did want to just do a quick scan through the slideshow you're all going to get. And so keep an eye out for the slideshow. Here are some of the basics about Canva, just like some tips before you get started. Using pixels and Pixabay and Unsplash for your image library, a little bit about Canva, some of the benefits that we talked about Canva, some of the drawbacks, which is the resizing component was a kind of an issue, pixels, dimensions, resolution, layers. We talked about moving an object above something or below something, downloading and uploading. And here are the links to the different things you can explore. You can explore color palette samples. So if you're looking for a certain set of colors, you can click on this website and it gives you some suggestions. Image libraries and icon libraries that you can use to download your icons, articles to kind of help you get started. What's an infographic? What's the difference between JPEG and PNG and PDF? When should you and shouldn't use Canva? Some videos here, some really great YouTube videos, and here's the time duration. And Canva has an official YouTube channel too, where they're providing instruction. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, so we got one more question, which is downloaded picture resolution something that matters? And if so, how do you change the resolution of a downloaded picture, is I believe their question.
Yeah, I think you want to make sure your resolution is at a high level to begin with. You could go about possibly making some adjustments to the picture resolution, perhaps through like an image editing software. But I think your starting point is you really want to make sure you have a really high resolution. And basically, the more pixels you have, the higher the resolution, the better the quality is. You definitely want to move away from using any pictures that have like watermarks in there, or they're like blurry or fuzzy. Always use your pictures if at all possible. If you don't have any to start off with, you can use something like Pixels or Pixabay to get started with.
All right, well, looks like that's about it. I don't see any more questions coming in. Carlos, I would just like to thank you once again for coming out and teaching us all about some Canva basics. I'm sure that this is going to be super useful for people who are designing projects or need to do some image manipulation. It seems like a great tool to use, and with all the resources you've given, which I will be emailing everyone shortly after this ends. I think that everyone's well on their way to being able to use Canva pretty confidently. So thanks again. This was a great presentation.
Great, thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a nice night, everyone.
Bye.